Let me ask you something. How many app have you downloaded because of one free giveaway, or because of one discount, or because of one urgent thing that is almost free, or that is a prize that you are going to get if you download the app? Now look back, look closely. How many of those apps do you still have on your phone? Well, there's a possibility that it is only just one, because one of the most calculated moves that has ever happened in Nigeria was one that was used to attract millions of people with a very huge and unexpected price for everybody that gets to use one product. But now the product has evolved into something else, and the millions of people that were attracted in the first place are still there. What exactly is this brand that I'm talking about? This brand is one that came in with motorbikes and food deliveries, not because they ideally wanted to be a transport company, but because they did it to get 30 million Nigerians to trust them, get on top of their platform, and now retain them to do transactions on the same platform. And then when the trust came in there, they became a bank. Hello guys, I am Saamu Eleja, and today is the second edition of African Fintech Review. Let's get into this. Before I speak about this brand, let's have a quick dive into history. In 1985, a company was founded called Telnet Nigeria. This company was a digital transformation company that was sitting in a duplex in Kofo Abayami Street in Lagos. Basically, it was just engineers that were in this company that were building financial infrastructure. In 2007, Telnet leadership reached out to the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, with a very amazing proposal. Around that period, the CBN was trying really hard to increase financial inclusion at the grassroots level. And the proposal of Telnet Nigeria was aimed to meeting that particular objective of CBN. And by 2009, Telnet received a very rare license that a non-bank or a non-telecom company would get from the CBN in getting this goal achieved, which is a mobile payment license. And from that license, Telnet Nigeria continuously evolved and built a company called Paycom. As at that time, Paycom Nigeria Limited did something very impressive as far as the technological advancement in that particular period of time is concerned. They were one of the first companies to build encrypted USSD bank transfers, because as at that time when you transfer money over USSD, it was scrambled. So while other companies were sending text that fraudsters can intercept mobile money transfer, Paycom wasn't doing that. The most interesting part of this story is also that this same Telnet company gave birth to one of the biggest companies that has ever erupted out of Nigeria, InterSwitch. This shows how deep this company Telnet really built, to have built two unicorns that is actually out of Nigeria. But now that's not the end of the story. So fast forward to 2016, Opera Software, the Norwegian company behind the web browser that was very popular then, which at the time was the second most used browser in Africa, gets acquired for $600 million by a consortium of Chinese investors led by a man called Yao Zhu. So around that period of time, Zhu looked at Africa and was like, this is a continent that has hundreds of millions of people, and they don't exactly have a solid banking system yet. No reliable access to banking despite all of the availability of smartphones. So Zhu decided to move their operations in Africa down to Lagos, more like their head office thing. And in December 2017, Opera acquired a stake in Paycom. And by August 2018, the name Opera and Paycom came together to yield the popular OPay that we now use on our everyday basis. In other words, looking at the entire story, OPay is not a brand that just started with the popular ORide that we know. It started from Telnet Nigeria down to Paycom, down to Opera moving into Lagos, and then the purchasing of the stakes and the combination of the names to create a financial product that would currently be impacting millions of lives on daily basis in Nigeria. Still speaking about the history, let's have a look at the way OPay got to enter into the Nigerian market. ORide. This was the first product that OPay rolled out in Nigeria. A motorcycle ride hailing service at a very crazy discount rate. I could remember those days that you can take a bike for a distance as long as um 5 kilometers, maybe even 6 or 7 for 30 naira, for 15 naira. Yes, it was happening back then. That should be around 2016, 2017 ish. And then came OFood for food delivery, OBus for bus hailing. There was also OExpress for logistics and delivery. All of these things in under 2 years. And everything was subsidized. They were deliberately made cheap for easier accessibility and onboarding of plenty people at the same time. From the way things rolled out back then, the purpose was basically to get Nigerians to be comfortable to using the OPay wallet. Because once you're on ORide, then you have to fund your OPay wallet, and it's from the OPay wallet that you'll be able to pay the rider that you book to take you to wherever you are going to, as well as all other features. In other words, the ORide and the OFood and the other features were a Trojan Horse strategy to attract people to get used to the super app, but most importantly, the financial part. As at early 2019, OPay had active 40,000 agents and was doing up to $5 million in daily transaction value. Then in July 2019, OPay raised $50 million for their Series A. And this was led by Sequoia China, IDG Capital, and Meituan. And by November 2019, Series B was further raised by OPay, which was a whopping amount of $120 million. The 2020 motorcycle ban by Lagos happened during the COVID period. OPay had to shut down a lot of other features, the OFood, the ORide, the OExpress. But some people would possibly have thought that that was going to be like the end, or it was more like a coerced pivoting that OPay had to do. But somehow I feel like it was planned all along. So it was just a smooth direction for them to follow, pivoting from all of those numerous features down to being a fintech strictly for payment. Come August 2021, OPay raised again. A round led by SoftBank Vision Fund 2 that became OPay Series C, which was $400 million. As at that time, that was SoftBank's first ever investment round in an African company. Other VCs like Sequoia Capital and Redpoint China were also involved in the investment round. As at that time, Flutterwave was the only unicorn by valuation that was in Africa. But after this round, OPay became the second and joined Flutterwave in becoming a unicorn, and OPay was valued at over $2 billion as at that period. Having a look at the total funds that OPay has been able to raise from inception till now, it's totaling up to $570 million, and their valuation as at 2024 was up to $2.75 billion. Still speaking about the history, that's not the entire picture of what I would like to share about OPay. As at 2024, OPay got suspended from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The ability to onboard new customers were suspended. Not just them, but including some other fintechs, about compliance issues relating to anti-money laundering and fraud detection. And there were also some allegations that accounts were opened for some users without proper consent. This suspension lasted for around a month. And one of the interesting things to see out of this is that this particular suspension led to OPay specifically curating a form of security features that would end up becoming one of their strong advantage compared to some other fintechs, even in the current space of the industry. I'll walk through one of them as this review goes by. But this is to show that it wasn't exactly a smooth ride for OPay all through. One of the things that also happened as regards challenges for OPay was the resigning of their CEO, Olu Akomo, in 2023. Due to a clash between him and some of the co-owners, the Chinese ownership, it was reported that he needed to resign, not for fully disclosed reasons, and this somehow was a little bit close to affecting the stability of leadership within the company. And this actually is something that matters a whole lot, most importantly for finance-related companies and startups. The huge numbers that OPay has been able to do is a story that is worth remembering. 50 million users, over 500,000 agents across Africa, with monthly transaction volume of over $3 billion. The interesting part is 80% of bank transfer among mobile money operators is being handled by OPay in Nigeria. This is a very huge impact that is found deep down to infrastructural level. So that's enough history for me about OP. What do you think about that? Don't forget to like this video so that it can be shown to more people by the algorithm so that they can enjoy this amazing history from OP in case they may have not heard of it before now. Don't also forget to subscribe so that you can support the good work that I'm doing here. So right now, let's move down into the app review properly. Before I start speaking about the features of OPay that I would like to spotlight in this particular review, one thing that I love so much about OPay is the easy, smooth, and very fast onboarding process on top of the app. With your phone number, BVN, and some basic personal detail, you get a bank account that you can use to transfer money, powered by OPay Microfinance Bank, registered with CBN, and insured by the NDIC. This means that your money has a deposit insurance protection. Compared to the company that I did in my first review, you can watch on my channel. I think OPay seems to be a little bit more feature rich. And I really love that about OPay. So now let's go into my preferred features to speak about. Number one is the core product of OPay, transfer. One of the biggest reputation that a fintech company can ever have, that I can bet you to that OPay is actually a standard for a lot of others, is speed of transactions. You know that when you use your OPay, piam piam, the transfer has already gone through. OPay actually claim 100% success transaction rates. I mean, that's up for them to defend. And while I won't say that that is literally true every single time, the experience is actually consistently faster than most traditional banks. I mean, you do not have to see your money rolling around the circle before the money go through. Like it's always very, very fast. And sending money to another OPay account is consistently free. No extra charge, no account service charge. The money remains the same. Even if I will not speak about anything as regards what OPay has to offer, the speed is worth mentioning. I mean, you don't transfer money before we say that just fast, fast. And another thing that I also like is that this same speed of transfer of OPay is what makes it easy to exhaust all the money on the account. It feels like there's one spirit that when you have money in your OPay, you are just being pushed to quickly spend that money, quickly finish it, like give people more than 2K, plenty, plenty people. Even if you want to collect your 2K, like that speed of transfer somehow is, you know what I'm talking about now. But yeah, that's something worth speaking about as far as OPay is concerned. Another feature that is worth mentioning on OPay is the OWealth feature, the savings with interest. For OWealth, this is one of the products that actually like surprised a lot of people before we start having the other conventional saving platforms like Piggyvest, Carrywise, GetLadder, and the likes. OWealth pays you daily interest. Yes, daily interest. Every single morning, your interest of your money on OWealth lands into your account and you get notified every single morning that this is the amount that you have been able to accrue as interest for today. That's not like the exact way that they said, but you just get that pop up on top of your app. Even if your interest for that particular day is 5 naira, if you even see 5 naira, that means the money there is not that small. But I mean, it's a thing of interest when you wake up and then you pick up your phone and PM just so that okay, you've accrued this interest. There's a sort of little bit of joy that it gives, no matter how small it is. And this rate can go up to 15% per annum. And anytime your money stays liquid, there's no lockup period, you can get to withdraw your money back from the OWealth balance to your regular balance. Still speaking about the saving features of OPay, there's an auto save feature every night around 10 p.m. Whatever is sitting in your regular OPay balance automatically moves down to your OWealth balance. If you're an Odogu that you have millions left in your regular OPay balance, it moves down to your OWealth and every day it accrues interest for you. There are some other features of savings on OPay. There's the fixed savings, target savings, and there's also like the save box. For higher returns, fixed savings locks your money for a 7 days period. And for target savings, it lets you save towards a specific goal. Save box is the one that is the strict savings plan. You have access to monthly interest, but with limited withdrawals per time. And I think it's an intentionally thought of feature by OP. People can have options to pick from when it comes to using OPay to save. And now, one of the most interesting feature about OPay that I would like to mention is the security feature. The first of this feature is the night guard. You know how most phone thefts and fraudulent activities happen at night? or maybe during social event when your phone might not like exactly be at your hand, maybe like you're at a rave that you're just vibing and your phone is not with you. With this feature, Night Guard allows you to set a time frame between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. during which any transaction or any transfer attempt is going to require an actual facial verification that you have initially added to the account before it can go through. We know that theft doesn't really happen like during the day, but for the ones that happens at night, it's a safe security feature for people to have, and it's a very, very nice one and innovative one to mention for OPay. The second one would be the large transaction shield. For this one, you can set a transaction limit. This is quite possible if you are somebody that you do not want to spend beyond a particular limit, or you don't want anybody to be able to quickly access your account without your prior notice, and then you want to quickly put a limit on top of it with a minimum of 100,000 naira. I think any transfer that is going to be beyond that particular amount is also going to require a facial scan. Even if somebody is trying to do that transaction like during the day, you can limit that transaction. Now, one of the things that this attracted for OPay was that in 2024, Nigerians lost around 42 billion naira to financial fraud. That's a lot of money. For these features that OPay was able to bring up, OPay won an award of the Fintech Security Innovation of the Year at the 2025 BAFI Awards for these two features that I explained earlier. I'm highlighting this because security is still one of the features in the fintech space in Nigeria that really still needs to be improved as much as possible on OPay and some other ones. But these things that OPay has done, they are worth referencing actually as a good examples for some other fintechs to follow and also possibly even improve much more than that. Very briefly, this other one is also going to be about the OPay card, both the virtual and the physical one that you can acquire. The OPay card not having a maintenance fee is something that I just want to mention. I know they are not the only one that offer this feature, but compared to traditional banks, this is worth mentioning. OPay was one of the leading fintechs that was able to provide this for people. You get your card, you don't have to be scared of being debited that a bank will remove money for maintaining your card for you. No, it's free to maintain. I mean, and it's very, very cheap to acquire. I think it's just like 500 or so. So now I'm going to be giving you my honest perception about OP as a company, apart from the features that I've spotlighted so far. Non-biased perspective about OP is that I honestly feel OPay, and I pray that OPay does not go down, because if OPay go down, it's really going to affect the informal sector of OPay a lot. Because if you go to the Yaniru, Yao, vegetable, the mama where they sell okpa, mama where they sell like papa where they sell sugarcane, all of those people, they regularly depend on OPay because of the speed in transfer. And that is like a very huge infrastructure for their business. If anything happens to OPay today, it's going to affect it a lot. I think I can remember that there was time that there was a little bit of network issue with OPay, and there was this panicking between people before they could be able like to sort that. I do not exactly know how they managed the crisis communication that particular time, but it's something worth mentioning. And to be honest, OPay is a see that speedy feature of OPay is something that I really love, and I see how it's affecting people's business like in real time, in real life, and even interpersonal like relationship. It's pretty speedy to quickly send money like to help somebody catch up to something. And I think it's a really good one for me. The security features, I love it as well. I think it's something that will be useful for a lot of business owners too, most importantly the ones that do physical businesses that they have to move at night. I think it's a lot of it's a safe way for them for their business. The savings feature too, I think it's a thing for people that it helps people to develop some sort of discipline, right? It's a really good one. Money where if you see where like where you no go fit come out, it makes sense. And the part of people being willing to also say, "Ah, I don't want to lock this money, oh, but I still want it to accrue some interest for me." So I think giving people those multiple options is a really like good one. I'm not biased about it. I think OPay really ticks a lot of quality boxes for me. However, there's still something that I believe they can improve on: customer service and the app's complexity. Now, let me break that down. So, I had to check out some reviews on social media on top of some platforms to be able to see what people are saying about OPay's usage. And I can see that as much as OPay has speedy transaction speed, you do not have speedy customer support responses like that, like that. So, and for anything that has to do with money, to be honest, it's something that you cannot play small on. I'm not saying OPay is paying small, but there's still a number, like there's still a measure of space that they need to fix up as far as that is concerned. Be speedily available to respond to some people's complaint, not a generic message, not a bot chat or something. I mean, those things are good, right? They are meant to manage the kind of size, because of course you can't be dealing with millions of people and you would have like millions of customer support at the same time. But you can bridge that gap by still finding a proper or a much more improved solution to it. And on the complexity of feature part, I mean, there's a lot of feature there. You can see a lot of things happening on OPay, buying airtime, like quite a number of things that you can see there. So for the informal sector that might want to explore some of those other new features, I think it's a thing that OPay can still try to invest in some of this easy way of navigating their platform. I think it's something that OPay should look into. When it's not compulsory, but even for the educated person, you might need to take some time to go through understanding the way some of those features like work. Compared to the first company that I mentioned in my first review, I think OPay needs to do some sort of improvement. I didn't talk about the OPay business part where you can become like a merchant, but I think I would, I really like recommend OPay in a way. I mean, from my reviews so far, it shows that OPay is actually that platform that you can trust, that you can use. Of course, still do your own research, because it's important to check if everything that you need is being met by them before you choose to opt for them instead of some other options that are outside there. My rating, I would rate OPay a 8.5 over 10. I think for the purpose for which the products currently stand for, they are doing very, very fine. There's still space for improvement. That's why I won't give them a 10. If you want to try out OPay, I mean, I'm at the end of the review already, so this is a good time for you to try it out. I'll check if I can add my referral link down to the details in bio, and then I really hope that you have a good and amazing experience from OPay. And if there are some features that you think I should have spoken about that I didn't mention, you can share in the comment section, or you can send it to my DM, and I'll be willing to respond to it. And I mean, I really would love to hear from you. I look forward to getting your comments about this particular review, and look forward to more reviews from me as far as the African fintech story is concerned. So, my people, this brings me to the end of episode 2 of the African fintech review. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to share the link with others to watch. And don't forget to like this video so that the algorithm can show it to more people. I hope that this review has been educative and very informative for you as well. Again, don't forget to share to others so that they can learn, and drop a comment for me. Maybe there's a particular brand that you would want me to spotlight or to mention in consequent editions. I would like to see them, and I will look forward to still seeing you here. Again, I am Saamu Eleja, your popular fintech storyteller. I'll see you again in the next video. She